Hello, good evening. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Please, if you can hear me, kindly indicate in the chat box. I don't know why my video is not coming on yet, but if you can hear me, please let me know.
Hello, I can hear you. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to yet another mind-blowing session of our webinar. For those of us who were with us last week, you agree with me that last week's session was value-packed, eye-opening, thought-provoking, and very insightful. We got so much value, and just like me, I know you are super excited and fired up for today's session. I urge you to sit tight and stay with us, and you will not regret it. Now, like I said before, we had a lot of participants last weekend, and I can see that there are also new people joining us for the first time today. So please, if you were with us last week, kindly drop second time in the chat box. And if this is your first time, write first time in the chat box, please. Let's do that quickly as we start. Thank you. Second time, if you were with us last week, you drop second time in the chat box. And if this is your first time, I'll be calling out a few people to briefly introduce themselves. So if you are a first timer, you tell us your name and your expectations from today's webinar. For our second timers, you tell us your name and then maybe one or two lessons you picked from last week's session. So please, let me see the chats coming in. All right, I can see them. Welcome, welcome. So I would be calling some persons right now. Ayomiku, please, you'll be asked to unmute your mic. So when you unmute, you tell us your name. If you're a first timer, you tell us what you expect to get from today's webinar. But if you were with us last week, kindly tell us one or two things you got from last week's session. Thank you. Ayomiku, are you there?
I am here. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ayomiku. I was here last week. I was here for the first session, so I'm not new. Last session was very enlightening. It taught me a lot of things, actually. Some I already knew, but some were more clearer to me, if that's the word to use. It made me realize that, okay, I need to have like a solid vision, which I've been perambulating about since, but so have a solid vision and follow my passion as well, which is what I am doing at the moment. And sometimes it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's more of how to build yourself, and yeah. So that's basically it for me. And then I learned how to reintroduce myself on my profiles and also on my resume as well. So yeah, which I've actually worked on, and I'm actually glad to be a part of this session again, because I hope to learn more things from today's session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much and welcome. Sally, you'll be asked to unmute. Please kindly unmute and tell us, introduce yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Salamat. This is my second time. I was here last week. It was a mind-blowing session last week. In last week's class, I learned that as a person, you're a product. And then you need to... Can you hear me, Ma?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, so I said from last week's session, my take home was, as a person, you're a product. So you need to know how to market yourself. You're a brand that you need to sell. And then we're taught that we need to have a clear-cut mission. Confidence builds competence builds confidence. So we need to work on ourselves and rebrand. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Sandra Akinola Ashimi, please, you'll be asked to unmute. Kindly unmute and introduce yourself first. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra, and this is actually my first time. I was not able to join last week, but I hope that today, from today's session, I'll be able to gain tips on how I can rapidly grow my career. I'll step up my career, so to speak.
Thank you. Thank you so much and welcome. Welcome. Matthew Ube, kindly, you'll be asked to unmute. Kindly unmute and introduce yourself. Thank you. Are you there, Matthew? Okay.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. I'm Matthew Ube from Benue State.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. And this is actually my first time of joining this Zoom meeting.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank
Do you
you.
have expectations? What do you expect to gain from this meeting today?
Sorry?
Any expectations? What do you hope to gain from our webinar today?
Well, the expectation is at the end of the Zoom meeting, I should be able to get one or two ways or things on how to build and grow my career.
Yeah,
That is it.
definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you. So the last but not the least, before we move on, Tosin Rumide, you will be asked to unmute. Kindly unmute and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's
Good
nice
evening.
to be here again. Well, for me, last week, I have learned, unlearned, and also relearned. It's been quite a beautiful section, especially how to put up yourself as a product. That for me was an awesome one, and I hope to be wowed again today as I take action. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to stop here now, but please keep putting your introductions in the chat box. If you're a first timer, let us know what you aim to achieve by joining this webinar today. If this is your second time, kindly drop feedback from last week's session, things you got from the session last week. Just let us know in the chat box. Thank you. So on behalf of all of us at 360 Guide, it is my honor to welcome and introduce our speaker today. Bultife is an experienced career advancement consultant who has managed several projects focused on connecting young professionals, university graduates, and high school students with their best fit career and study options, both locally and internationally. She is the convener of the Building Money Muscle series, a monthly gathering of professionals in pursuit of geometric career progression through imbibing the principles of excellence in the workplace. She is also the founder of the 360 Guide Limited, which offers bespoke coaching, training, and recruitment services for individuals and institutions. Biolu has previously worked as a lecturer in the Federal College of Animal Health, a recruitment advisor with Lancaster University, a director at Key Learning Solutions, and currently consults for Street Business School, a leading NGO based in the USA and Uganda. She's passionate about education and equipping young professionals with the knowledge and skills required to advance their careers geometrically. She's a prolific speaker, a writer, and an inspiration to many. With your favorite emojis in the chat box, join me as I welcome Mrs. Boltife to this evening's webinar. Please let the emojis keep coming in as she comes on stage now. Thank you. Welcome, Ma.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation, for coming, for showing up again. Now, I'm going to say something about today's session. Today's session is extremely special. So I already had the slides for the session, right? And then, oh, sorry, I just noticed that my video is not on. Okay, so I already had the slides for the session. And yesterday I said, let me just brush up on the slides so that I make it personal to the people that I'll be speaking with today. And then the slides, you know, the content was blowing even my own mind. It's mind blowing. And you'll notice that all of a sudden I've been silent all week. I just came back yesterday and began to tell people on the group, you need to come on board, you need to come on board. So I'll tell you something, if you have a friend, if you have a career buddy, you have somebody that you really love, right? I will want you to just take a second and go and tell the person, or you have a friend on that group that is not here. Tell that person, you need to get in here right now. You don't want to watch the replay of this one. I know those of us here will still watch the replay. I myself, I'm going to go back and watch the replay of this one. But you don't want to miss this live session because you're about to be blown away. I was blown away myself. And if I already knew the content of the slides and I was blown away, then I'm telling you, you're in for a ride today. All right, so we're going to move very quickly. Now, after the first session last week, we had a lot of questions coming in, you know, privately. And a couple of people kept asking us, why are you doing this? What's in it for you? Why are you doing this? Why is it free? Why is it free? I can't understand why this is free. And I'll address that question. I'll just address the question so that I'll share the vision of our organization with you. And I'm hoping that it will help you to understand why, yes, it's a paid service, but we are offering it to more and more people because we want you to, we just need people that we want to achieve our own vision, if I can put it that way. We have a vision, we have a mission, we want to achieve our own goals. So if it's going to take, you know, making it free sometimes for people, then it's fine. Now, people also ask that, do we have paid services? Yes, we do. We have a lot of paid services. We offer services to recruitment to companies. We do recruitment for them. We do university advancement. We do education advancement stuff like helping people that want to go abroad to study and things like that. We actually run that for people also. But majorly, we train individuals. We work on your LinkedIn. We work on your CV. And thankfully, because people are also asking, I also need to let you know that we are also moving our CV, our LinkedIn writing, all of those things, you know, how to search for a job, all those things, we are moving them online. And because you're here, over the week, we're going to look for, I would sit with my team and then we'll find a way to do something special for those that have been attending for this past 3 weeks, but that will be later. Now, let me share the vision of our organization with you. All right. I'll share the vision with you. Just a second, please. Uh-oh, still coming. I think I must have missed something. All right, so I have it here that we are creating a place for Africa. What we are doing is creating a place for Africa, right? And how are we doing that? We are raising a community of excellent individuals that are experiencing fulfillment in career and in their finances. So our goal is to raise a community of excellent individuals. No longer are we going to hear things about Africa where people will say things like, you know, people in Africa, when it comes to career, they're generally laid back, they're not driven, they're this, they're that. We are taking our place in the world. And the 360 Guide Limited is at the forefront of driving this. And that is why we are offering these trainings. We've been doing it in schools, we've been doing it for organizations, we've been doing it privately for people that reach out to us. Now we are going all out. We're going all out to reach out to people like you, and we are hoping that you can also refer over time. You know, when people have questions, they're trying to find their way, you refer them to 360 Guide so that they can find their way properly. Now, over to the topic for today. I must have mixed up the slides somehow. Yes, so the topic says unleashing a rapid career growth with the 5 pillars of personal branding. We want you to unleash a rapid career growth with 5 pillars of personal branding. Now, I'm going to show you some keywords here. So the first keyword that we have is a rapid career growth, right? A rapid, so sorry, I'm speaking quite fast. All right, I'm going to start again. So the topic is unleash a rapid career growth with the 5 pillars of personal development. Now, the first keyword is unleash, right? Unleash is something, it's just common English. Unleash means you let go suddenly, let go of something suddenly, you let something out suddenly. So something that has been in there, it has been there within you, then you just let it go all of a sudden. That's unleash. Now the next is a rapid career growth. What's a rapid career growth? We know rapid means fast, right? Rapid means something happening really fast. Career is a word that many of us think we know what it is, but I'm going to clarify certain things and then you let me know if you were right all along or if you were wrong. So I'm going to explain what career is later on as we go on into this presentation, and then you let me know if you were right or if you were wrong about career, the word career. Now, also, we have growth. Growth means to grow, like you're moving from little to big, you know, you're developing and all of that. And then we have the 5 pillars of personal development. Now, the key things I'll be explaining will be career and personal development, because I think those are things that, yes, it's common English, but they're not common words that we use every day. So I'm going to be explaining those 2 during the course of this training. Like I said, whatever you do, I hope you have your pens and jotters. I hope you have your pens and jotters. I hope you're right in here with us, because you're in for a ride, like you are in for a ride. And I'm also in for this ride. I'm super excited about what we're going to learn today. Okay, so before we start, I know many people in this meeting, you know the person on the screen. So this is the popular actress, the king of boys herself, Shola Sobowale, in an interview with Truth. Truth is an on-air personality. He does interviews. He conducts this kind of interviews for people. And, you know, I found this interview very striking. Like, it kind of just really explains some of the things I would like us to focus on. It explains the starting point of my slide. So I'm going to play this video, and then we'll talk about a few things before we go into our presentation. All right, let's go. Uh-oh, it says no audio. Let me see. All right, I'm going to stop sharing the screen and then I'll share again, because I guess it has something to do with the screen. So just permit me. All right.
Then
The
everybody, they
floodgates.
just, so I was made them somebody in life to give them the legacy I could give and to nurture and take care of them.
Yeah.
So that was why I left.
So let me know if you can hear now, please. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to be.
And to God be the glory. Hallelujah. Them somebody in life, to give them the legacy I could give, and to nurture and take care of them.
Yeah.
So that was why I left. And to God be the glory. Hallelujah. They're successful now.
Yes.
All of them, they're working. And they said to mommy, Mom, thank you for sacrificing. It's time to go back to what you know how to do best. So that is why I'm back in Nigeria. Yes, I remember when I left, I will say this, I was practically living in Enugu because I shot one movie called Christ in Me.
Right.
After Christ in Me, then everybody,
floodgates.
they just, so I was given a job again to film one and come back. Eventually, I got over 10. So I was
Stationed there.
And there, I spent one location, I may spend 1 week. That 1 week, then I was on 800,000 naira. 2,000.
Yes.
2,000.
Yes. 800,000 naira.
800,000, 2,000.
Yes. That was the level of yourself on Kemowo at that time. Yes.
And like that, I may not come back to Lagos after 10, over 5 million.
Yes.
Within how many months? Not even, I say,
from set to set.
From set to set, the money was flowing. And I left that for £7.50 per hour in England. Yes. Before I could make £1,000. This has to fly into it. Yes. And I'm proud.
Yeah.
And there is nothing this woman cannot do because I know what is called dignity in labor. I will sweep here to Kenya, to Ghana. So if I'm going to put food on my table, I'll put clothes on my children and shelter on my head.
Yeah.
That is what I stand for.
Because when you left, there were so many stories.
Yeah.
Oh, she's driving. Oh, she's sweeping.
It's true. I swept. I cooked. The other ones that I won't tell you, very soon you will get to know about it.
Right.
But I did sweep. I did money. I will sweep. I wash. I clean offices. I mop. Tea cups, plates. I washed. I stacked. Dust everywhere. Yes, I did all those.
What was that like? Like, because it's one thing to just...
I'll tell you this. When I'm moving from actual, and the other thing is I wasn't even sleeping.
Why?
My life is colorful. Oops. And on the train or on the bus, I make sure I dress like I wear my uniform with the name of the company like that.
Proudly.
Yes. Then you hear Nigerians, she's not the one. Shola Shobowale. No, she can't. One if I lo me ṣe emi gogo le mi. My name is Shona. What are you doing here? So what are you doing here?
I love it.
Auntie, what are you doing here? A green as pasture? Yes. I have made a lot of friends in England. And I'm glad and I'm happy. Now it's history.
Yes, we're going to stop the video there, right? And what I want to point out to you, there's actually a lot to pick from this video. For those that might have missed the audio, or maybe you didn't quite hear what was being shared, I'm going to explain it to you. So this is Shola Shobowale explaining our break. At some point, we didn't see Shola Shobowale on our screens in the movie industry. And she's saying that she left because she needed to take care of her children who were studying in the UK at the time. And while she was in the UK, she left a career in Nigeria in the year 2000, where she was earning at least 800 per week in Enugu. She could have come to Lagos and be earning about 5 million per month in Lagos. She left that career to the UK because she wanted to be with her family. And while she stayed with her family, you know, while she was with her children, taking care of them at the time, she got menial jobs. Jobs like cleaning, sweeping, washing plates, doing all of these things, right? And then, you know, towards the end of this video, there's something she said that I want to point out. And I would like us, you know, I would like to ingrain that. I would like us to ingrain that in ourselves. There is dignity in labor. There is dignity in labor. This morning, I was at the CIPD and, sorry, that's the CPDI, not CIPD, sorry. I was at the CPDI and I remember that, you know, somebody had asked the question and I said to the person, see, I'm not one of the coaches that will just tell you, just stay where you are, don't do anything, just wait for the best job to come to you. There are times that we need to do the tough things. There are times that it gets tough. When it gets tough, the tough gets going. We are raising a community of people in Africa that are resilient, independent, excellent. No more excuses. No more excuses. And then this leads me to another thing that I would like to talk about. While I'm talking about that, I would like you to type in the chat box. There is dignity in labor. I want you to type that out. There is dignity in labor. It doesn't matter what it is that you do, whether it is washing corpses in the morgue, whether it is, you know, there's a way people will say that, oh, some people are going to the UK to wash corpses in the morgue. Whether it's washing corpses in the morgue, whether it is taking care of babies, you know, working as a caregiver, whether it is as a front desk officer somewhere, there is dignity in everything that we do. Well, the reason is because sometimes we mix up certain terms. We don't understand the difference of certain terms. And then that's when you hear people say things like, oh, I got a job, but it's not in the place of my passion. So I'd rather wait for something in the place of my passion, you know, and you hear all of those things. I'm going to clarify those things to us today as we move on. I want to clarify those things to us today as we move on. I don't know who is tampering with the screen, but I would like to ask you, please stop tampering with the screen so that others can have a good viewing experience. I'll see if I can rub that off. Okay, let me see if I can get that off also. All right, please try to stay off the screen so that people can have a good viewing experience. Okay, so as I was saying, there is a difference between a job, a career, and I'm going to just head on straight into that. And whatever you do, that's one thing you should write it in comments, and I want you to also write it in the chat box. There is dignity in labor. All right, so we are moving ahead today, and we're moving fast. Awesome. So the first thing I'm going to explain to us today is the difference between, you know, different levels of occupation. There are different levels of occupation, and all of them are different. It is when you begin to mix them up that you start having issues. It is when you begin to mix them up that you start feeling unfulfilled with something good that you have in your hands. And I'll explain it this way. The 4 levels were defined by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I'm giving the credit to her for the 4 levels. That's the hobby, the job, the career, and the vocation. She was the first person that came out with, you know, these different levels, right? However, I'm taking credit for the things that, you know, the definition of each one, because they don't quite align with what she says. So she has a different, you know, there are slightly different things in what we believe, right? So, but I'm still giving her the credit for coming up with the 4 levels of occupation. So we start, and that's somebody I respect so much. So please don't take it. Don't think that maybe, no, I respect her a lot. It's just that we have, you know, usually you have slight differences, even from people you like, from people you follow. Awesome. So the first level of an occupation is a hobby. A hobby is something that you enjoy. You don't have to be good at your hobby. I can enjoy dancing and I can be a bad dancer, but dancing makes me happy, so I will dance anyways. And what makes it a hobby is the fact that I'm not expecting anybody to pay me for my dancing. So it's just a hobby, something that I love to do. Now, you can do your hobby well, you might not do it well. It's just something you enjoy doing. It's a hobby, and that is where it ends. That's a hobby, right? The next thing is a job. A job is something you do that pays your bills. It's something that pays your bills. And personally, I believe, now this is my own personal belief, I believe that every responsible adult should have something that pays their bills. Every responsible adult should have something doing that pays the bills. And on a job, what you do is you deliver value. Now, this is where it gets interesting. A job is not something that necessarily aligns with my strengths, my skills, my values, my this, my that. A job is something you do that pays your bills. And that is why you keep hearing on 360 Guide, I keep mentioning career, because I'm focused on career professionals. I'm not focused on job professionals. There are people, a lot of people out there that would help you to get a job. And if you wanted a job from me, I would just refer you, okay, do your LinkedIn, do your CV, and then, apply. You can take the course, like I have an upcoming course, like I said, you can take the online course. It will teach you how to get a job fast. You get a job, and that is what it is. It's a job. You do it, you provide value. If you don't have the strength to do your job, you develop the strength. If you don't have the skills to do your job, you develop the skills. If you don't have passion for your job, well, you build the passion by focusing on that thing. So when I meet people that come to me and say that, oh, what have you been doing for the past 1 or 2 years? Oh, I lost my job 2 years ago. Since then, I've been sitting at home because all the jobs have been coming. They don't exactly pay so well. And, they're not really in line with my values. I'd rather sit at home. I cannot understand it. Because you're a responsible adult and you should be able to pay your bills. Get something doing. Even if it does not align with your passion, your bills. And that was why I played Shola Shobowale's video for you earlier. This is somebody that was doing well. She already had a career, but there came a point in her life where her happiness was, I want my children to be fulfilled. She needed to be there with her children so that her children would not go wayward. She wanted to provide that motherly care for her children. So she took a break from her career and did all sorts of jobs to just get going through that period. And thankfully, by the time the children were done, she came back into her career, broke back into her career. And guess what happened? She blew. Even more than she was doing before, she just blew. So we need to understand that we need to get things doing. Now, if your father, for example, is Otedola, or your father is, Dangote, and, during the period where you're in between jobs, you're like, okay, let me just pursue my hobbies, my passions. You have somebody that is funding you, that's fine. But please don't sit at home and say, because I've not found something in line with my strength, in line with what I studied, in line with my experience, I'm going to sit at home. Somebody should type in the chat box, it's just a job. It is just a job. You just get it done. Just get it done. Just get it done. That is what your job is. It pays your bills. And because of that, you deliver value. You deliver value, you're given money for it, and then you get your bills paid, no matter what it is. So there are people that in the interim, you're trying to build a career somewhere. You need to get that small job. That small job that pays you, that's something small. Just get it and keep doing it. You need to pursue in the meantime something small and start doing it so that you're making a little money. And I'll still show you why, getting a job in the interim is good. The next thing is a career. Now, this is a job with a progression plan. So you have a job, and then you're looking at, in the next 5 years, this is what I intend to become. In the next 10 years, I need to have attained this position in the same job line. In the next 15 years, in the next 20 years, these are the things I want to be able to do. Now, when you're pursuing a career, this is where you begin to look at your strengths. It's always better for you to pursue a career that aligns with your strengths, your natural strengths, right? Because you're going to be on it for a very long time. So it can't be something that you are unhappy going to do. A career can be something that you're not happy going to do. This is where you now begin to talk about the place of your strengths. For passion, it's a good thing. You're a blessed person if your career aligns with your hobbies, it aligns with your passion, you are just absolutely blessed. But there are only very few people in the world that actually get a career that goes in line with their strengths, their weak, everything just goes like that. Very few people. Very few people. And it's okay if you get that. It's okay to attain for that. It's okay to put your documents together, put your portfolio together in such a way that you're able to build a career in line with your passion. That's a very good thing. That's an excellent thing to do. But you don't sit down there and say, oh, until I'm passionate about it. Remember, passion comes from focus. Many of the things you're passionate about today is because you were exposed to it, you kept doing things in that line, and you became passionate about them. There's also the place of innate passion where there are things that you pick interest in. The things you pick interest in, they don't necessarily mean you're good at them. Sometimes you focus on them until you get good at them. So that's what a career is. It's a commitment for a significant period of time in your life. Now, the next one is a vocation. Now, a vocation is a calling. It's a form of devotion. It's something that, some people, I've heard speakers in the past say things like, they'll say, when people are asking the career question, or what kind of jobs should I go for? What kind of jobs? That's counselors now. People are asking counselors, what kind of jobs should I go for? What should I pursue and all of that? And then counselors will say to them that, look inwards, look at what you're passionate about, look at this, look at that. It's good, right? These things are pointers. But I need to tell you, when it comes to a devotion, it is just something that you've committed yourself to doing. Many times it comes from a place of passion. Sometimes you're passionate about it and you don't even know how to do it. Sometimes you're getting other people to actually help you achieve this dream. And that is where you find people like people that own like orphanages, people that are fighting, for women's cause. You don't expect to be paid for your vocation. In fact, many times you're the one seeking funding, raising funding to pursue that vocation. And a vocation is not something that you wait and say that, okay, until I get a job in the line of my vocation. No, you just go ahead and do it. You just go ahead and do it. For me, career guidance is I'm beginning to realize it's a vocation for me. Because whether you pay me, whether you don't pay me, I'll get it done. Doesn't mean that your vocation cannot pay you. Your vocation can generate income for you. Your vocation can generate many things for you. In fact, all the levels of occupation can generate things for you. Everything can generate income for you, but their purposes are entirely different. The only one, according to Elizabeth Gilbert, that everybody on this earth must have at one point or the other is a job. Even the full housewife, it's a job. You have a job, you have something that is paying your bills. I don't want to mention some other ones so that we don't go there. Now, where Elizabeth and I differ is that Elizabeth Gilbert will say that not everybody needs a career. And I understand what she's saying, right? But I want to differ very slightly with Elizabeth to say that it's a good thing to pursue a career. It's a good thing to pursue a career. And you'll see as we go ahead in the training today, why you actually should pursue a career. All right, so we're going to move very quickly. What is a career? A career is an occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's life and with opportunities for progression. So I've already explained this. I'm not going to dwell so much on it. The next thing is personal development. That's the next keyword from our title, personal development. Now, what is personal development? Personal development means constantly improving oneself. Sorry, I'm going to All right, so as I was saying, personal development means constantly developing, constantly improving yourself through conscious efforts. So you're making conscious efforts and you're developing conscious habits to ensure that you are improving, you're becoming better at what you do. Now that is personal development, right? So the next thing I'll talk about, and this definition actually came from one person that I follow back to back, and that is Brian Tracy. Okay, so we move ahead on to the next slide. Now, everybody's just shouting, develop yourself, do this, do that. Everybody has an idea of what you should do with your life. Why must I even develop myself in the first place? Why develop myself? And I'll show you why. So the first reason is when you develop yourself, it gives you a sense of purpose. Self-development gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of happiness, right? The next thing is money. See, the amount you currently earn is a function of the skills, the experiences, everything that you have at your disposal. See, many times I say to people that come to me that say, you look at a training, they tell you, come and get trained, or why not go for this class, or why not do a master's, or why not train under this person? And they say, the things they're doing there, I can even do it by myself, right? In truth, the level you are right now is based on what you are able by yourself innately to do with the resources available to you. When it's time to move to the next level, the fastest and easiest way is to find somebody that has been there, let the person pull you up. And we'll still talk about that later. The next thing is, when you develop yourself, it opens up doors of opportunities for you. If, for example, in the past, you didn't have a certain skill, right? Maybe you've been in an organization, you don't speak well, you're always so shy. And then one day, you make a killer presentation. All of a sudden, they tell you, we need somebody to do this presentation. You volunteer, you get your slides done, you do it well and everything. What will happen? The next time there is a presentation, all of a sudden, your name will be called. The next time that the person taking that presentation will be traveling, your name will feature. And that is how you're opening doors of opportunities for yourself. Before you know it, you're a speaker, you're a consultant, you're this, you're that. That is what you're doing. So that is why you should not just sit in one place. You need to begin to engage in rapid, intentional self-development. The next thing is, it opens up, I even put the global twice, global relevance. It opens you up to the world. You're no longer that little girl, that small boy in your small space, just trying to do his own thing. You are now somebody that has taken its place in the world. Remember, we said we are creating a space for Africa. So we are looking for people that want to stand out. And all right, I think I'm back in. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. So I'm going to share my screen again. I've changed the network source, so we are hoping that it's better this week. I hope we're not having the same glitch from last week. I actually switched on to another provider, and I'm surprised that this is happening again. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you so that we can continue very quickly because we have a lot of things to cover today. Okay, so the next thing we'll be talking about, we've talked about, living life on your terms. And I was sharing with you before I got logged out that living life on your terms means that you're able to walk, at your own pace, do the things you want to do the way you want to do them. That is what living on your terms means. However, you can live on your terms from certain jobs, right? Especially people that do things like all these digital, sorry, what do you call them now? You sell digital products, you have things like that. You can live on your terms even from there, right? Even without a career, with a job. Some jobs give you the opportunity to live on your own terms. But anybody that pursues a career would eventually get to that point where he or she is able to live on their terms. So I hope you understand the difference. You can get a job, some jobs, very few jobs though, they give you the opportunity to live on your terms, but a person that pursues a career would eventually live on his or her own terms. All right, the next thing is 7 pillars of personal development. Now I'm taking these 7 pillars verbatim from Brian Tracy, which I have told you is somebody I enjoy reading from, listening to, attending his workshops and all of that. So the 7 pillars of personal development by Brian Tracy are personal skills, personal growth, personal power, personal improvement, personal empowerment, personal analysis, and personal objectives. Now, for the purpose of this training, because I kind of find a bit of repetition in personal growth, improvement, and empowerment, I'm going to take personal growth, improvement, and empowerment, and I'm going to turn them into a single one, which is called personal evolution. So we have personal skills, personal evolution, people power, personal analysis, personal objectives, and then we'll end it there. Okay, so let's move. We're starting from personal skills. Now, I know that many of us are familiar with this, and I'm going to break it down. I need you to get your pens and jotters ready because there's a lot of things to be learned. So right now, if you're still here, I want you to type in the chat section, I am here. If you're here, I need to know that you're here. So say, I am here. Thank you. I see you. I see you, Akwezi. I see you, Ifeoluwa. I see Titilayo, Ileri, Sandra. Thank you. You're an awesome audience. This is an awesome audience. Thank you so much for all the comments in the chat section. All right, so now I'm going to define personal skills for you, and I'm going to break it down because I've met HR people, I've met so many people that don't really understand, the different categories of personal skills and what they mean. I'm sure that you've been in an interview before. I remember taking some students, there was a time, I told you I've done consulting for a lot of leading secondary schools also. So when we're doing career consulting for them, and then you mention things like soft skills, what are your soft skills? They don't know what soft skills are. They don't know the difference. Transferable skills, what's the difference? So today I'm going to break it down for you, and you'll never be confused about, the differences between these terms anymore. Now, we have the soft skills, right? And what we call the hard skills or technical skills or professional skills. So we have soft skills and then hard skills, also called professional skills, also called technical skills. Those ones are all the same thing. Now, soft skills can be broken down into different categories. Okay, sorry. So soft skills can be broken down into different categories, right? And I'm going to go into that. I thought I made the slides a different way. So we have soft skills, we have professional skills, then we have transferable skills. And I'll explain what each of this means, I hope. And then we also have what we call life skills. All right, okay, I get it. Okay, so I'm going to start. So we have 2 types of skills, right? We have skills that are innate. We have innate skills, that's your personal skills, the ones that naturally you have them, and then the ones that you don't necessarily have. You don't necessarily have those skills, but they can be developed. Almost all skills can be developed. You might not be able to develop it, to the level of somebody that has that talent naturally, but you can develop it to a point where you're able to use it well. Now I'm going to tell you the differences between soft skills, professional skills, transferable skills, and life skills. Soft skills are those skills, things like dependability, like, being trustworthy, being hardworking. Soft skills are things like resilience, courage, confidence, those kind of things, ability to communicate well. There are skills that are not necessarily related to a job. They are not necessarily related or, to a job, but they are useful on the job. So you have as many of them as possible. You can go online and get a list of soft skills. There are so many. Now, the next one is professional skills. Now, professional skills are skills that you need to be successful on a particular job. They are tailored to a particular job. So it's the way somebody in tech would need to have good, would need to have like the measurement. You need to know how to measure a particular thing. So if, for example, you're a civil engineer or you're a builder, you need to have the knowledge of certain building skills. You need to know how to mix maybe block, or you need to know the measurement for mixing of block so that you can supervise people. You probably need to have supervisory skills in tech. You need to have, particular skills for a particular field. Those are professional skills. You might need to know how to use a particular software. You might need to know how to operate certain equipment. Those are professional skills in a particular industry. Now, we also have what we call transferable skills. And this is where sometimes people mix it up. Soft skills and transferable skills are different. They are very similar, but they are different, because a transferable skill can also be a professional skill. A transferable skill, just like it sounds, is something that you've used in this industry, but if you're moving to another industry, you can still use. And I'll show you an example. Many soft skills are transferable. In fact, almost all soft skills are transferable, but it might not, the skills you're transferring may not be relevant to the particular industry you're going to for a soft skill. But most times, they are useful, they are relevant in every situation. But there are times that professional skills are also transferable. So for example, if I worked in marketing in a bank, and I'm moving to a school, now I would have developed the skills of a salesperson, right? I would know how to communicate. I would know how to maybe lead generation, how to talk to clients and things like that. Now, it's a professional skill in marketing. Sales is a professional skill, right? But I can bring that into the education industry. So those are transferable skills. And then finally, we have what we call life skills. Now, life skills also, they are soft skills. So life skills are soft skills, but these skills are skills that everybody needs to survive. Everybody needs life skills to survive. So this is where you begin to think about things like emotional intelligence. This is where you begin to think of problem solving, creative thinking, right? Those kind of soft skills that they appear on almost everybody's CV. Those are the life skills. So you need to understand the difference. And the reason why you should understand the difference is because you need to know which one you're targeting. You need to know which of the skills you are targeting. So for example, let me give you an example. A transferable skill is something. Transferable skills and life skills, they are important. You need to look out for the transferable skills on the job that you're doing and focus on those skills. Focus on building your transferable skills, especially transferable skills that will be relevant in the career field or in the next step of your career. You want to focus on transferable skills that will be relevant in the next steps of your career. So sometimes you find people, they'll say, I want to take a course. Then you ask them, why do you want to take this course? It's relevant to my field. It's relevant to your field now. Is it relevant to where you're going? Is it relevant to where you're going? Because at the end of the day, you do all of that, and then it's time for you to move, then there is an issue. It becomes an issue. We don't have anything to work with because you focus so much on the present that you forgot the future. So don't ever forget the difference between soft skills, transferable skills, and life skills, and then learn to ensure that as you're working on yourself, you build yourself a wealth of transferable skills. Now we have what we call the innate skills, right? Skills can either be innate or developed. Now I know what happened. The boxes went the other way. I must have shifted them at some point. So skills can be innate or developed. So it's not necessary that you say that, because I don't have these skills, I want to focus on the area of my strength and all of that. You can have innate skills and you have developed skills. And if you have innate skills and you don't develop your innate skills, people that don't have that skill as an innate ability will do better than you. And I'm going to repeat that because it's important. If you have an innate skill and you do not develop it, people that did not have that skill, they will do better than you. And this answers the question for people that ask that, oh, those are new book, you know, let me use our Nigerian parlance. So they'll say, where are those that are new book in secondary school? Where are they now? See, the problem with those that are new book in secondary school is that they have an innate ability, but they did not develop it. And that is why they're not converting the skills they have into money. I was one of those people, or I'm one of those people that in school, yes, I was one of, you know, the brilliant ones in quotes. I was one of the brilliant ones in quotes, but you don't sit down there. You don't say, oh, I finished with the first class, I finished with a 2-1. You don't sit down there. Then you begin to develop what you have. What are the opportunities for me? Do you know something I've noticed? When it comes to gatherings like this, you hardly find the first class people. You hardly find the first class people. Many of them think that, oh, I finished with the first class, let me just start applying to Shell. Let me just start applying to the big companies and then they will take me. Many of them do not attend this kind of conferences. They are waiting. And you know, there's this thing with when you finish with the first class, opportunities are all around you. So because of that, it's as if they're already just sitting down and waiting for the opportunities to come to them. And then the person that finished with the third class will say, yeah, Mobe, and begin to run. Let me get all the skills I can get. And because of that, that person is pursuing personal development and becomes desirable. The person now becomes desirable to recruiters, and that is where the difference comes in. All right. Let me know if you're still here. Let me know if you want us to keep going on. Are you gaining value? If you're gaining value, just type value. If you got it, just type value. If you're gaining value, I would like you to just type value in the chat section. Yes, thank you. I can see that you're gaining value. All right, you've not seen anything yet. You've not seen anything yet. Just relax, because we're going into something that will change your life forever. Something that will change your life forever. All right, so we're moving ahead now. Now, how do I upgrade my personal skills, right? Now, the first thing is learn to do the hard things. Quit complaining. Quit complaining and go for the hard things. I know that this is not what we like to hear. In fact, I wanted to play this song, I Can't Kill Myself. I can't kill myself, or allow me to flex. You have been singing that song. I want us to sing that song for the last time. Tolu Alashi, I'm going to call you to take this session. You're disturbing my screen. All right. Okay, don't worry, I'll just clean that off, right? So as I was saying, awesome. Okay, so as I was saying, you learn to do the hard things. Go for the hard stuff. At work, there are those problems that are hard nuts. Stop blaming everybody else for your predicament. Stop saying that, oh, the reason why I got this particular task is because Bimpe does not like me. You know, that's why she pushes this kind of jobs to me. You know, they say challenges are the challenges are the food of champions. I don't know if is the food or are the food. Challenges are the food of champions. Champions are people that see challenges and then they run towards it. You know, one thing that will really help you in life, or that will help every one of us in life, is to realize that challenges are a part of life. Life is filled with ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, such that when you're down, you already know that it's going to happen anyways. When difficult things come to you, you're not praying them away. You know that you knew they were going to come anyways, right? So another thing is sometimes we subconsciously, you know, pray it away. I'm casting it all on at the feet of Jesus. You don't even want to think. Probably Jesus is even bringing it to you so that you can think and engage your creativity and push yourself and push out a part of yourself that you did not know existed. But you avoid it. You complain, you do this and do that. Now, let me say this to you. Before you feel like, oh, she's been perfect all her life. Oh, I've been there. One of the jobs I did, you know, in the past, we faced challenges, complex challenges. Oh, I complained. It's the structure of the organization. It's no, my boss. Oh, the team from this country, they don't like us. The team for that country, they don't like us. That's why this is happening. I know when you begin to blame everybody, blame the problem, blame the obstacle, the energy you're supposed to use in thinking, you use it in blaming. It's like you're shutting down your creativity to the solution to that problem. So learn to go for the hard things. When challenges come, accept them as a part of life, and then begin to figure out, how do I solve this problem? That's the first thing. Now, the next thing you need to do is courses and trainings. So when these challenges come, first we're accepting them. The next thing is you skill up. Begin to take courses, begin to take trainings that will help you to get the things that you need to get. And that is why I celebrate you for coming here this afternoon. And I especially celebrate those that are coming here for the second time. Because, you know, many people feel like, oh, I got value the first time, it's okay. Learning is a lifelong process. Learning is a lifelong process. I celebrate many of my fellow coaches that are doing amazing things, you know, doing sessions and all of the free sessions for you. But like I said last week, you need to get somebody to follow. You need to get somebody to follow back to back. You need somebody that, you know, we said career is progressive. That is how your evolution would also be progressive, right? The next thing is volunteer and internships. Volunteer and internships. Now, volunteering and internships, they are not only for people that don't have a job. Even when you have a job, you can still volunteer and intern. You'll be amazed at what you can do with all the hours within the day. Oh, like I told you, you're going to do the hard things. You're going to do the tough things. I'm building a community of excellent professionals. And excellence has something to do with hard work. There's a direct relationship. Excellence and hard work, there's something about them. They're like cousins. You're going to do the hard work. You're going to make the sacrifices. But it's not going to be as tough because you're going to be in a community of people that are also doing the tough things. It might take time, but you will definitely get to that place of fulfillment. So volunteer and internships. I have somebody volunteering with me, for example, that has a full-time job. And in her spare time, she would, you know, do some tasks with me. This person, you know, she's not been with us in the organization for a period of time. She sent me a message this week and said to me that I've not even spent so long with you and I'm already transformed. Sometimes you need to look for people that are doing the things that you do or that are in the places where you want to be, and then ask them, what can I do for you? Ask them, what can I do for you? All right, so the next thing that I'm going to say is you need to also ask and shadow people within your organization. See, many of us, we waste relationships. You need to ask people. So if there's a particular task that has been given to you that you're not very good at, or something that maybe a colleague or a senior colleague does well, walk up to the person and say, oh, I'm not so good at this thing. No, anytime you're doing it, can I just stay beside you and watch you do it? Or can you watch me do it until you get good? So learn to ask and shadow people. And we're still going to talk a bit about this later on. Next pillar that we're going to talk about is personal evolution. Personal evolution. Before I go into personal evolution, I need to be very sure that you understood personal skills well. So if you understood personal skills well, just type in the chat section, understood. I just need to be sure that you're really understanding it. I know I have a tendency to go fast. So if you understand it, let me see how many people understand. If you don't understand it, please let me know. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. I can see that, okay, many people understand it. Awesome. Thank you. Now we're going to go into personal evolution and we'll take a bit of time in here. Personal evolution, remember that we put 3 things together into personal evolution, right? And I'm going to break down each of it for us. Now, I always go into Greek no matter what I'm doing. So personal evolution has 3 key components, which is first, growth. And this growth, I like to liken it to the emergence of a seed. Growth, the emergence of a seed. When a seed is emerging, you know that it's a tough process. Those of us that did Greek, we know that it's a process where you can actually even lose that seed. The seed can actually die if it's not properly done, or if it doesn't happen properly, right? So that's the first part, that is growth. And then the next one is improvement. Now, once you emerge, then you begin to add, you begin to grow in what you've emerged in. You're moving up, you're moving higher, you're getting better. And then the final one is empowerment. Empowerment is where you now begin to have, you know, other specialized parts. You're now coming out with fruits and flowers and things like that. Don't worry if you're not very good with agri. I'm going to explain it in common words. Now, personal evolution, growth. When it comes to growth, the first thing is growth starts from a place of reflection and assessment. And we already started that process from last week. For those of us that were not there last week, right, we're going to share a video, like we're going to share the link. We put up the video on YouTube. So we're going to share the link with you for the video so that you can go in there and watch. You can watch that video and then you start your process of self-reflection. And then it's also a process of assessment. How well am I doing? You know, what am I even doing? Where am I? What is my place in the world? What is my place in this industry? What is my place in this field? That is the place of growth. The place of growth is the place where you step out of your comfort zone. It is when you come to a seminar like this. It is when you begin to ask questions. When you begin to feel that feeling of it's no longer enough. I'm more than this. I'm more than this. It's a pointer to something. Somebody type in the chat section, I am more than this. I know many of you are here today because there's that feeling on the inside of you that there is more. I'm more than this. There's more to be done. There's more to be done. I am more than this. See, type it in capital so that you're saying it to yourself. I am more than this. I'm ready to be more. I'm ready to evolve. I'm ready to break forth. I'm ready to find my place. I am more than this. All right, thank you to all the people typing out in the chat box. The next thing we'll go to is personal improvement. Now, personal improvement is that place where you begin to cultivate success habits. Now, many people, they never leave the place of growth. They never leave the place of that emergence. You go into a conference and the speaker talks and then the person says something that resonates with you. And you're like, oh my God, this is it. But what actions do you take after that? You cannot just take one action and expect to undo your last 30 years. One single action cannot undo what you've been doing for the last 30 years. One single action cannot undo what you've done for the last 40 years. One single action cannot undo what you've done for the last 50 years. So you see why it's important to now move from the place of growth to the place of improvement. Improvement is where you begin to build your competence and character. Competence and character. Somebody from 360 Guy, just type it in bold. Just type competence and character in the comment section. It is where you begin to build your competence and then you build your character. Those two things, competence, you know, in the number of skills that you have, you begin to harness the skills, you begin to develop them in a way you've never done before. There's a new drive, there's a new passion. And I'll tell you something about this point in time. You need a lot of hand-holding. It might not even be hand-holding. Sometimes you need a community to drive you, because many times you're tempted to fall back to your old habits. You're tempted to fall back into the comfort zone. So you need to begin to get a new community of people that will hold your hands to live where you are. That is where you begin to take courses. That is where you join a community. That is where you join a reading club. That is where you join, so many things. And these are all things that 360 Guide will be providing for all our clients. Or we're going to put you into groups, like into smaller groups, and then we'll begin to run these things on a monthly basis. You have a book you're reading, you have what you're doing, you find your mentor, you find people in the field, so that you're moving ahead, you're moving on. No more we don't want any stagnant person. You're moving ahead because Africa has a need. Enough of people coming from somewhere to take up our jobs. It's time for Africa to arise and take up this position. It is time for Africa to arise and create these positions for other people. So the next thing that happens when you begin to harness, you develop your skills, is that you need to begin to create, you see that there is a branding and positioning for visibility. Because people are beginning to say, oh, this lady, oh, there's something about this lady. It's as if this lady can do this. Oh my God. There's a positioning. There's a positioning, and that's improvement. Now, the third one is empowerment. Empowerment is now where you begin to build systems. And this is the place where you now begin to hammer on your life skills. Your creative thinking has to be top notch here. This is where you begin to think about wealth management. Now, wealth management would have started from the place of improvement, but by the time you get empowered, it becomes a non-negotiable. Do you know that you don't exactly build wealth from a job? I think that's a shocker that many people don't know. You don't exactly build wealth from a job. You build wealth from investment. You build wealth from investing. So you can take part of your salary and begin to invest it to build wealth. But if you think that once I get my salary, I just save off this amount, and it will be enough for me to take me through, not necessarily so. It's not likely so. So this is where you now begin to think that, okay, from this big salary that I'm earning, how do I manage my wealth? How do I manage my portfolio? It is at this point you begin to think about delegation. You know, you're no longer that person that wants to do everything at the same time. You're thinking, how can I empower other people? How can I train other people? Who is my succession plan? Oh, we have a very bad habit in Africa. You occupy a position and you don't have a plan for the next person that will take over your business. You don't have a plan for the next person that will take over your position. In fact, the people that are trying to aspire, you're using you're getting a hammer and then you're using it to knock their heads. Go back, so that nobody will rise up to your level. No, we are building a community of people that would already, once they get into the role. Now, this is something that one of the presidential aspirants has said. He says, immediately you get into an office, you're thinking, who is my succession plan? On your role now, who is your succession plan? You know, once you get to the level of empowerment, those are the kind of thoughts that are coming to your mind. And it is at this level of empowerment that, you know, you begin to command. What you command is absolutely amazing. That's when people are asking you, you're on a job and people are telling you, okay, come and consult for us. You know, just do this 1 hour consultation and then we'll pay you this. Come and do this and then we'll pay you this, we'll pay you that. That is what empowerment looks like. Now, growth is majorly for entry-level staff. You find a lot of entry-level staff. They are the ones on the growth pedestal. They are still right here trying to figure out who am I, what am I doing and all of that. And then the next thing is people that are on the improvement pedestal, they are on the management level. You find them managers, senior managers, you know, people rising steadily through the ranks. You find them on the improvement phase. And then when you get into the empowerment phase, you find consultants, you find directors, you find shareholders, CEOs, COOs on this phase. Now, see, it's not the other way around. You don't become a COO and start trying to get empowered. You begin to get yourself empowered, and then you find that these positions are opening up to you. All right. So we move to the next slide, which is, how did I get here? Your people power. People power, that should be people power. Oh my God, I think I'm using the wrong slides. My apologies for that. Okay, so the next thing we have is people power. Now, this is another powerful tool that a lot of people are not aware of. A lot of people don't know. You don't know how to harness the people power that you have. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to show you this growth pedestal, right? You've heard of this particular, the particular statement that says, my network is my net worth. If you believe it, type, my network is my net worth. My network is my net worth. The people around me, you know, the people around me, they determine how much I'm worth. I'm going to show you how, right? I'm still going to show you how. Okay, thank you. I like the way Taria puts it. She put the, you know, the straight face. My network is my net worth. Awesome, awesome one. Okay, so your network is actually your net worth. And this is how it works. You know, many times we're mistaking it. We just think that things happen by chance. Things happen, you know, they just happen by chance. And indeed, things do happen by chance. I like a passage from the Bible that says, time and chance happen to them all. It's as if many people listen to that thing and they like to imagine that time and chance happen to some people. Did you notice that it says time and chance happens to everybody? Everybody has an opportunity. But by the time the opportunity comes, are you ready? When your opportunity comes to you, are you ready to take it? Oh, there is a need for positioning. Many of us need to begin to get in line. You need to begin to run. You need to begin to run ahead so that, yes, you've lost opportunities in the past. That's okay. But it's time for you to begin to build your opportunities. Now, this is just the way your network works. If your network is small, then the things you produce also will be small. And as your network begins to grow, then your value, your products will begin to grow, right? So we have the one with the big jar. You can see that the plant on it is really growing. Like what is coming out of it is really growing. And I'll show you your people power in the next slide. Now, this is my people power. Okay, need to hide in speeches. I'll be with you shortly. Awesome. Now, my mentor, one of my mentors, I have a lot of mentors. One of my mentors will say, relationships are the ships that we ride into destiny. And that was why I separated it the way I did. And my mentor is Pastor Dr. Arifalo. She's also a coach. So she says, relationships are the ships that we ride to destiny. Oh my, you should not stand alone. Liverpool fans, any Liverpool fans in the house, Liverpool fans will tell you never walk alone. You should never walk alone. You should actually never walk alone in your career. And I'll show you some of these relationships. Now, this particular chart is longer than this, but I didn't want to complicate it, so I reduced, certain parts of the chart. Now, you have two different types of relationships: your personal relationships and your corporate relationships. Personal relationships, they include your family relationships and then the platonic relationships. Under the family relationships, you have the close relations and then the distant relations. Under the platonic relationships, you have your friends, your schoolmates, your neighbors, your church members, your pastor, all those kind of relationships are the ones under platonic relationships. I'm defining it for you so that you see something. Then after the personal relationships, we also have the corporate relationships. Corporate relationships are relationships that you build from the place of work, right? So under your corporate relationships, I've divided it into two. You have the one that is for a lifetime, and then you have the ad hoc. Ad hoc means per time. So ad hoc will come from a place of where you're working at a particular point in time. So the people that you have to work with every day, they are part of your corporate relationships. While the people that you've outlined that, oh, this person, I want to have this person for the rest of my life, they are your lifetime corporate relationships. And under the lifetime, you have three categories of people. Now, under the lifetime, you have your mentor, you have your contemporaries, and then you have your mentees. Three levels of relationships. I put them in red because all three levels are extremely important. Now, if you don't cultivate any of these relationships, it doesn't mean that you will not do well. It does not mean that you will not do well. But I need to say something to you. There is an adage that says, if you want to go fast, you can walk alone, right? If you want to run fast, you can run alone. But if you want to go far, you go with a friend, you go in a company. So somebody that will go far will go in a company. I will now tell you something, that if you want to go far and then you want to go fast, if you want to go far and you want to go fast, you get these three relationships, especially a mentor. Non-negotiable. It doesn't mean that you cannot walk the journey without a mentor or without your contemporaries or without your mentees. But if you want to just do like a short distance, I just want to achieve this short goal, then you go with, you just go by yourself. Just get the skills, do the course, get the job, and then you go. But you want to go far. You have a long journey and you don't want to get tired on that journey. You don't want to give up. Then you commit yourself to into a company, you look for contemporaries, you move with your contemporaries, you move together. But if you're going to go far and you still want to go fast, then you get yourself a mentor. And who qualifies as a mentor for you? Somebody whose values align with yours, somebody that has walked the path. Somebody that has walked the path, somebody whose values align with yours. Now, let me break it down for you, because sometimes we confuse it. Many times you're not going to have only one mentor. I have 3 different mentors at the moment that I submit to in different areas. Spiritual mentor is the person I mentioned, Pastor Joshua Fallow. Now I have a mentor for my business. And the reason I chose him as my mentor is because he has built businesses. He has built solid businesses. And that is my mentor for the business. Now also, when I was going to discover myself and get to know myself, I've been following my coach, Tekena Ikoko, for years. And when it was time for me to get to that place of evolving, understanding myself, I went to look for him. So you can have different coaches in different areas of life, but at least for your career, identify that person that has walked the journey. So sometimes you find people, they say that, oh, they found a coach online and then they were disappointed. You cannot find a coach online that has not walked your field and you expect that the person is able to help you walk your career journey faster. So a good coach will help you to identify your career coach. So you don't expect your life coach, for example. So people like me, you call us like a life coach, or for me, you call me. So it's more of a life coach thing, really, because what I teach you is life skills. I help you progress on your career, but by helping you to identify somebody in your space that will be able to hold you. And I will tell you why. Anybody that has worked in your field has a network. And by keying into that person's mentorship, you are keying into that person's network. You are keying into that person's opportunities. So if you're in tech, for example, I might not be able to help you that much. Okay, I'll be able to help you in terms of I recruit, right? I have recruiters that I can talk to. But to be able to say, this is the future of tech, I won't be able to tell you that. But your mentor in tech will be able to tell you that. So those are some of the things that you need to take note of. For personal relationships, you don't joke with them. Many of us, we don't know how to cultivate our relationships with our family members, with distant family, platonic relationship. We don't know how to cultivate it. Many of us are on class WhatsApp groups. You don't talk, you don't do anything, you don't relate with them. You put the group on archive. You're like, I don't even know what they are doing there. That is your net worth you're joking with. That is why you are poor in opportunities. That is why you are poor. You are not visible. You are so nobody is seeing you. That is why you are poor. In the place where you work, you don't have a rich network of people. But I'm not going to leave you stranded. I'm going to show you how to build your network. Right? So here we go. Now, your family. Imagine that you have an empty jar. You've not been doing so well in building this relationship. How do I build my family relationship? The first thing is from events. Don't joke with family events. Attend family events. Don't say, what are they doing there? And when you attend, I'm back to women. If you're a woman, celebrate yourself. I'm back to women. When you attend a family event, your job there is not to wash plates. Your job there is not to go and dance, especially Yoruba women. Your job there is not to go and dance with the family people, and that's your job, that's what you're doing. Of course, you can do that, you can get fun from that, but make sure that you're connecting with people. Leave them something to remember about you. And that was why last week we came up with our professional statement. Now, when you're saying your professional statement to your family, you don't say it all formal, right? But you say, break it down to them in a way they understand. Let them know what you're doing. Ask them, be truly interested. What are you doing? Okay, how many children do you have? Where are they? They are in this school, they're in that school. You might not be able to connect the dots yet, but sometimes in the most unforeseen circumstances, they come together. Let me tell you how I got my second job. My second job, it was my brother-in-law that saw an advertisement that was flying around. And he said to me, there's this advert that is flying around, though. I think Bolu is the education somebody. Because I was so passionate about education. I was always talking about education. He didn't even understand exactly what I was doing in education, but he knew that, Bolu is the education somebody. So he just sent me the job advertisements. I went for the interview, first stage, second stage, and I got the job. So you need to leverage. What if he never knew what I was doing? How many people, okay, let me look for somebody. Your father, if you're married in the house, can your father-in-law really tell what you do for a living? If you can, I want to see your answers in the chat box. Can your father-in-law really tell what you're doing? Can your father-in-law tell what you're doing? I want to hear your answers in the chat box. Let's do that. Okay, yes, Apezi says yes. Awesome, that's an awesome one. You see? So some people are saying, my in-laws have no idea. Somebody says yes. Somebody says no, yes. You know, different answers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, awesome. We have an awesome audience. You need to clap for yourself. You really need to clap for yourself because I'm seeing a lot of yeses, right? Usually when I ask people this question, it's no. It's no. So it's not just your in-laws now. You need to let people in your space know what you do for a living. The next one is giving. You need to practice the art of giving. It's not a bribe. Giving from your heart. And now, see, let me tell you something. Let me give you one hack that will work for you. People that are prominent in a family, especially people that are financially prominent, they always complain of something. They say nobody ever gives them anything. And I've started to see some of these things happen. When you seem to be the big one in the family, right? People just assume that this person is okay. Sometimes you actually need to get a small, thoughtful gift, a branded cup, a t-shirt. The t-shirt I'm wearing now is from somebody that branded the 360 Guide t-shirt for me. Think of something thoughtful. It does not have to be big. And then learn to give from time to time. Have a giving list per year. Little items. Little items. Give to people's children. If you want to catch the heart of a woman, give her children something of value. If you want to take the heart of a woman, give her children something of value. If you want to catch the heart of a man, give him something that has to do with his career, something that would help his career. If he's a corporate person, give him a nice pen, a nice, get something that would help this person, something thoughtful. That's another way to engage family. Your character. Are you the stray sheep of the family? It gets wild. You need to find out, you need to learn. Are you the stray one? Are you the one that is always out of place? And then you need to truly care for your family. The next thing is your contemporaries. That's people on the same level with you at work. People on the same level with you at work. And how do you deal with these people? Don't joke with hangouts. I didn't know this secret, years back. I did not know. I'm always that person that is passing up hangouts. Oh, let's hang out together. No, my children, I cannot go. I can't do this. Now I see the value. The best jobs happen in the place of, they talk about it when people are hanging out. That's where they talk about these opportunities. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's passing over your head. Go for hangouts. Then you need to also learn to ask people, oh, what are you doing? What are you up to? Don't just be laid back and assume that nobody wants to help you, nobody wants to share. Ask them, what courses are you taking? What training are you taking and why? It doesn't mean that everything every other person does, you have to do, but at least you are aware and you can make your decisions from there. You need to care for your colleagues too. Once in a while, check up on them. How are you doing? When there's a difficult task, walk up to them. Oh, how are you coming with the project? It's not everything. Oh, have you finished? Have you finished your part of the job? You're disturbing my own part. You need to care about your colleagues. And then also events, networking events, attend with them. On social media, you find contemporaries outside your place of work. And that is why your LinkedIn profile has to be set right. There are people that will go on LinkedIn and then they'll say that people are sending them in connection requests, and they'll say, I don't know the person, so why should I connect with them? You connect with everybody. Those Indians that are trying to connect with you, connect with them. A lot of recruiters for international companies are from India. And when you connect with somebody that has a recruiter on their space, you begin to appear on that recruiter's space. Connect. When they send you the request, connect. Sometimes go and search for people in the organizations you want to work with and connect with them. And I have a whole course on LinkedIn optimization that you need to just sit down with it and learn how to optimize your LinkedIn. how to use it. Show up on social media, on Facebook. Of course, Facebook is a place where you relax and all of that, but connect with people. If you find somebody that is doing something you do, go to their inbox and don't type hi. Don't type hi. Like type a message, introduce yourself, introduce what you want to do or what you're interested in the person. Don't just go and type hi. All right. The next level of relationships are your subordinates, people that work under you. And many people look down on this one because, you know, they are subordinates, right? They're looking, don't look down on your subordinates. Some of them know things that you don't know. Some of them, they're your subordinates now. They will leave the organization and take up roles that you cannot dream of in the next 10 years. Don't look down on your subordinates. Some of your subordinates are the ones that will mention you in organizations that they will move to. When they say we need a manager, and the person will say, oh, there was somebody that managed me on my last organization. Oh my God, she's amazing. Don't look down on your subordinates. Never. It might not even be in the place of a job. My own subordinates, all through my career, they've been a blessing to me all through. A great blessing to me all through. Don't look down on your subordinates, okay? So how do you cultivate that? Yes, so you can get subordinates from your family. Sometimes you have people within your family that are aspiring to come into the field you're working. And then I find a lot of people say, I don't want my corporate space, or I don't want to bring family matters into this. That's so unfair. That's so unfair. Not unfair to the person, unfair to you as a person. Because do you know that life is actually all about giving? Do you know that there is a level of fulfillment you experience from giving that you don't really experience from other things? So when you give, when you're the one that, when you serve as a ladder that raises another person up, there's something it does to you. You meet subordinates from your social communities. So you meet on Facebook, you find people that see what you're doing and they're saying, oh, I want to be like you. One of my staff is like that. I can't even remember which platform did we meet. You tell me after. I don't know where I met her. I just know she's been following me for years. She's just been following me everywhere from I think Facebook. I think it must have been Facebook. From Facebook, somehow she landed on my WhatsApp. From WhatsApp, you know, there was a volunteer position that I introduced her to. From volunteer position that I introduced her to working for me. She's one of my key staff now on 360 Guide. So you need to, you know, cultivate these relationships. And then we also have, I've talked about social media. Then your place of work, when you're working now, there are subordinates there. Sometimes they don't even come to meet you. If you find a subordinate that is shining, don't go and meet the lazy ones that are not ready to do anything. The ones that you feel like you can see that this person is trying, they might not even have the courage to come and meet you yet. You reach out to them. Don't ask them that you want to mentor them. Just help them with something. Teach them something. Give them one act that has helped you easily. When you do that, if they rise up and then they come and say, oh, help me with this, then begin to mentor them. And I'll tell you why the subordinate relationship is important. Subordinates draw out, they force you to draw out value from yourself. They force out value from you, whether you like it. Because when your subordinate asks you something and you don't know it, many times you go and learn it. Many times you realize that, oh my God, I messed up. How come I don't know this thing? And then you go and get it done. So that's the subordinate relationship. The last one is the mentorship relationship. Absolutely important. The first thing is you begin to follow your mentor. Follow your mentor back to back. Follow your mentor as if you don't have a job. Follow, oh my God. On social media, you find this person. That was how I found Tekena. That was how I found him. On social media, they were just talking about this emotional intelligence thing and everything. And then I began to follow. I followed him on Facebook. I followed him everywhere. They said there was an event. They used to host an event in Ikeja. I did the event. There was a training. I did the training. I paid for the training. I started following him from there until I was able to do his pay. So follow people back to back. Follow them. After following them, it's not just enough to follow and be a ghost. Engage their posts. Engage their posts so that they know that this person is following me. Be like that woman that touched Jesus, that touched the hem of Jesus' garments, right? So plenty people were following, but this woman drew something. Follow until the person notices that, why are you following me? What do you want? Then attend their paid trainings. Some people think that by following somebody, I'll follow you, and then I'll be able to, I can get everything I want. I won't say anything about that. pay for trainings, the ones you can afford, pay. And there's a level of followership that you follow that sometimes you get perks. You get perks. When I did my training with Tekena, each session was supposed to cost 150,000 naira, and I had 6 sessions to go. I won't tell you, I won't reveal to you how much discount I got because I'd been following for years. Because by the time the opportunity came, I was prepared. So attend their paid trainings and then volunteer to help your mentors. When they have events, ask them, what can I do for you? Oh, these are the skills I can contribute to this event. So can I join your publicity team? Can I join this? Can I help you make follow-up calls? Can I help you do this? Can I help you do that? That was my stuff that I mentioned. That was how she joined me. Anything I want to do, can I help you? Can I help you this? Can I help you that? Today, she's getting paid on the job. All right. So the next thing is personal analysis. Don't worry, we'll soon be done. Let me check the time. Awesome. So we'll soon be done. Personal analysis. This is the 4th one, right? If you're still here, say, I am here. And if you're gaining value, just say value. If you're gaining value, value. Value, 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 if you're gaining value. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I see you're gaining value and I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Okay, so I'll keep going. I hope you're not tired. I know it's a long session, but it's important we learn these things. It's important we stay here and learn these things. Now, the next one is personal analysis, and this is extremely important. Everybody has what is called an unfair advantage, and everybody has what is called an unfortunate disadvantage. You need to find out your unfair advantage and your unfortunate disadvantage. Your unfair advantage is that thing that you are just, your innate abilities. I can just speak. Do you know, if you wake me up, I will speak. It's an unfair advantage I have. Even if I don't have, if I don't have all the content put together, I have a loud pitch. The way I speak, my pitch is loud. I'm able to, I will speak. Some people don't have that advantage, right? Everybody has their unfair advantage that puts them above the competition. And everybody also has the unfortunate disadvantage. You have both. What do you do with it? It is your job to discover what your unfair advantage is, and then you learn to leverage it on the things you do, on the job you do, on your career. And then you also need to learn your unfortunate disadvantage and then begin to add skills that will ameliorate it. Okay, so I'm going to move. So here are some tools that you can use for personal analysis. Now, personal analysis is also something that is quite in-depth, right? But I'll share with you some tools that you can begin to use already for personal analysis. The first is personality assessment. This one helps you to understand who am I. And then there are tons of personality assessment tests over the internet. Just go there. Those tests that you do, they will ask you 1 million questions. Some of them, you're not even sure of the answer, right? You just put it in there and then it tells you this is your personality type. It will tell you are a frog, something personality. Actually read it and reflect. You need to read and reflect on the ones that are true, the ones that are not true. And many times they give you, like suggestions of things that you can do to improve your personality. So try to take personality tests. Now, don't take personality tests just once, because every day you are evolving, you are discovering yourself more. The questions you could not answer the first time you took that test, you are able to answer them more definitively. So every year, you should actually schedule yourself for a personality assessment. The next thing is a temperament test. You should know your temperament. You see, there are so many people that, they say they're a certain kind of way, right? People say, oh, you have this weakness, you have this strength, or you have a tendency to do this or do that. I know my tendencies because I know my personality. If you don't know your temperament, you don't know who you are, you do things to people. You think that you're wondering, why is it that they don't like me at this place of work? You think you're doing somebody a favor and then the person feels like, oh my God, this person's own is too much. And that is the place of you not understanding your personality. Sometimes you think you are doing people a favor by keeping quiet. You're the quiet one. You're like, okay, let other people speak. Let me just keep my opinions to myself. And you're killing your boss. You're killing your manager. Your manager is like, I don't understand. How will you be on this team and you don't speak? Right? Whereas that thing is coming from a place of your personality. So you need to know your personality. My personality, I know from my personality type that I have the tendency to drive people. I have the if you allow me, I will drive you. I'm that person that will tell you no excuses. Let's keep moving. Let's get it done. Let's keep going. I can drive people. But because I understand my personality, I know what my unfair advantage is. I know what my unfair disadvantage is. And I know when to pipe low. I know when to step down. The next thing is the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis is for businesses, but you should also do this every year for yourself. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities available to me? What are the threats available to me? Or what are the threats that are facing me? And then you do it for yourself, and it will help you understand what you are up against. The next is a reading plan. You have to read. You can't tell me you don't like reading. You have to read. You have to read. And you have to read constantly, consistently. You must have a selection of books for your career, both for your career and for your life skills. You need a collection of books that you must read on a monthly basis, on a daily basis. You set targets for yourself and you meet them. Next year, we're going to be starting our reading plan for professionals, different categories of reading plans. And I would encourage you to join in. Join in when we start it, so that what reading does for you is that it opens up your mind to a world that was never existing. It opens your mind up to the mind of champions. You leverage on what people have done above you, and then you're just a transformed person. Okay, so if you're wondering, some people are wondering, how come she's able to do the things she's doing? Where is she? That is how. These are the things I do. Analyzing myself, being honest with myself, knowing my unfair advantage, knowing my unfortunate disadvantages, and working on them. And finally, is mentorship. Your mentor is able to see things about you that you don't know. If you have a good mentor, your mentor is able to see beyond you many times. So you need to get a good mentor. And remember, you need a mentor for your career. You need a mentor for your life skills, like a life coach. And then you also need, for people that are spiritual, you might also want to have a spiritual mentor, right? So those are three categories where you should have people. Now, your mentors don't always have to be, it doesn't have to be a paid relationship. Many work mentors are not even paid relationships. The life coaching many times can be paid, but when it comes to career mentorship, it's usually somebody in your field, somebody on the job, but there is a price to pay, and it is called the price of followership. Whatever that person tells you to do, you do it. You never, ever dishonor my mentor. The code for mentorship is honor. Somebody type honor in the chat box, honor. The code for mentorship is honor. You don't have to agree with your mentor all the time. You might not even understand where your mentor is coming from, but you keep that honor. You keep the honor. That is how to have a mentor. And then we'll go to the last one, which is personal objectives. Now, under personal objectives, there's a lot. I'm going to say many things, right? There's a lot. And I really want you to get personal objectives, but our time is so fast spent. Our time is fast spent. I wanted to really have enough time for Q&A, but I'll see what I can do with the time. Now, the first thing you need to know is that man is goal-oriented. You function at your highest level when you have goals set for yourself. It does not matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter your temperament. It doesn't matter anything. We are all goal-oriented people. Now, one of the speakers I follow, one of the motivational speakers I follow is Jim Rohn. And he will say to you that what's your greatest pull? Is it the past or the future? When you learn to focus on the future, right, you gain traction. The future is a place of motion. But when you focus on your past is like a weight. It keeps holding you back. And it might sound like, oh, I'm not really focusing on my past. But focusing on your past is you were given a task at work. And you're still saying, it's not me the task was supposed to be given to. That's past. The task has already been given. Move to the future. You're focusing on the past where you say that I don't really have the skills. That was in the past. I didn't have the skills in the past. Now I have a job that requires these skills. Move into the future and set a goal to get that skill and set a goal to get it done. Start focusing on the future because the future is the place where you begin to get traction. The reason why you're not getting traction is because you focus too much on your past. Set goals for yourself. Set daily goals for yourself. Goal setting, it fuels your passion. You're focused on something. Remember, passion comes from focus. So when you set a goal, you're focusing on something, and then it begins to fuel your passion. A goal is a promise of the future. And a goal gives you reasons to overcome adversaries. You know, remember I told you that life is full of ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. It's natural. Ups and downs are parts of life. But when you have a goal, there is something that you're looking at, it's easier for you to overcome obstacles. So I'll move very quickly because I have a number of tools for effective goal setting. Goal setting also, I am going to run a boot camp. I hope I'm able to because I have something very differently planned for December. But I usually like to run a goal setting boot camp in December. I'll see if I can run the two together. If I'm able to run the two together, I'll let you know. I'll put it on the group so that people can join in the goal setting boot camp. I'll show you how to set goals. But today, I'm going to rush through effective goal setting tips, right? First is there has to be variety in your goal setting. The mistake many people make is that you set only a single type of goals for yourself. You need to understand that you're pursuing a career because you want fulfillment in life, right? You want to experience fulfillment in life, in finances. So don't just take your goals and set career goals for yourself. I want to become the CEO of my organization. That's not enough. Why do you want to become the CEO? So that I can travel to Dubai, so that I can travel to Seychelles, so that I can travel to maybe Italy next year. Set all the kind of goals that you want to set for yourself. Set them together at the same time. The next thing is, once you set, plan for a variety of goals, then write them down. When writing of goals is a powerful thing. I don't know if it was in this session, I shared that when you write your goals down, you are very, very likely to achieve them. Even for those that don't review their goals, one way or the other, they find themselves, it's as if you set the universe in motion when you write down your goals. And I'm not saying when you write down your wishes, when you sit down and you set your goals. And I really hope I'm able to do the goal setting boot camp in December. I really do hope. I'll try my best, or maybe if we can do it a bit earlier, but I have a bigger project that is coming up that I might not be able, that will not make me, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. The next thing is a smart analysis of your goals. So when you're making a goal, your goal must be specific, your goal must be measurable, your goal must be achievable, your goal must be realistic, and your goal realistic or relevant. It has to be realistic, it has to be relevant to what you want to do in life, relevant to your career, relevant to your family, relevant to what makes you tick, what makes you happy, and it has to be time bound. So that is how to set a SMART goal, right? Then you now don't just set the goals, identify what the possible obstacles will be to achieving those goals, right? And then begin to identify people that can help you to achieve, to overcome those obstacles. What are the people that would help me overcome these obstacles? What are the people that my goal setting would affect? If your goal setting will affect your husband, for example, you live with somebody in the house and your goal will require that, from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., I'm going to be studying, I'm going to be reading a book. Whereas in the past, you used to pray together at that point in time. You need to discuss with this person and help him understand that this is what I plan to do next year. And, this is how it would affect us. this is my promise. After next year, we'll go back to normal, or I'll be able to do this, or I'll be able to earn more. You know, you need to carry people along. If you're going to need somebody's help to give you a training, you need to reach out to the person ahead of time. I'll need your help with this. I'll need your help with that. Then show people what is in it for them. So it doesn't have to be monetary all the time, but show them, you know, I'm going to be a happier wife. I'm going to, you know, whatever it is that it means to the person that will be helping you, you show it to them. Then you need to also be aware of the deliberate extreme. To achieve a goal, many times you have to do things out of the ordinary. So if you're not aware, when these obstacles come, they catch you unawares. But when you're already aware, you already know the things that you need to do. It becomes less difficult to do. Then you begin to make a plan. You begin to make a plan to achieve your goals. You know, this is what I'll do. This is what I'll do to achieve my goal. And then you organize your plan by priority and sequence. Which one will I do first? Which one will I do second? Which one will I do third? Right? Then you choose your pivotal goal. Now, all of these, you know, they are goal setting jargons that I will need to explain in details. But in your pivotal goal is that one singular goal that if you achieve, you'll be okay. So even if you set 40 goals, there is usually one single goal that if you achieve, you'll be very happy. Many times that single goal usually has something to do with money. So it's about your financial goals or something. So that one singular goal, right? You now focus on it. Focus on that one singular goal and you find that everything begins to align for you. It sounds very vague, but it is true. It has worked. I've seen it work for me. I've heard testimonies of people that it has worked for and it's going to work for you. And that brings us to the end of this session. I want to say a very big thank you for staying with me all this while. I hope you had a great session, right? I'm going to be handing over to Chinasa to take over from me. Chinasa, are you here? All right, trying to look for Chinasa. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, what an amazing session today's session was. Thank you. Thank you so much. This 2 hours was time well spent. Like, I don't even feel like it should end at all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that. Please, let's start dropping our questions in the chat box. Let's know if we can take a few questions. Please drop your questions in the chat box right now. Thank you. If you have any questions, let the questions start rolling in. Questions. Okay, we have a question. Sally says, under which skill sets do educational qualifications or trainings fall?
Okay, so educational qualifications, they are not, the qualifications themselves are not the skill set, but within the educational qualification, you have certain skills that you've been able to develop from them, right? So it is the skills gained from there that are your educational qualifications. We didn't really delve so much into educational qualifications today, but yes, you know, getting trained, taking courses, I think we treated those under personal skills, right? But it's not, the qualification itself is not a skill, but many times you get those skills, your educational qualifications would produce, they'll produce professional skills, right? But let me also clarify, within your educational qualifications, you are also able to get a lot of soft skills. So if, for example, in school, you were the VP of your association, right? You've gotten skills of managing people, which is a soft skill. You've gotten skills of maybe you raised funds for a particular project. That is also another soft skill, right? So you can get both soft skills and professional skills during your time in school, but the certificate itself is not exactly, is not a professional qualification. It is what you are able to do. That is what is a skill. What you're able to do from what you did, that is what is a skill. And that's why a lot of recruiters, even though, yes, academic qualifications are good, they also still want to see what are you able to bring to the table. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please remember that the replay of today's session will be on our YouTube channel at 360 Guide Limited. Just search for it and you'll find the replay of last week is already there. So please follow us, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any updates. Thank you. Ijoma is asking, amazing session, Ma. You talked about the personal assessment test, which we need to update as we evolve. I want to know how one can take the test.
Okay, so there are many personality assessment tests. I hope you're on the group with us. If you're on the group, I can drop a link to one or two over the course of the week so that you can take a personality assessment test.
Thank you. Thank you. Tessie is saying, I just ventured into investment banking from pure financial accounting. Even though I have done 2 courses on Udemy, but I'm sort of struggling on the job. How do I get mentors on my field?
Okay, there's so many ways to get mentors. And when it comes to selecting a mentor, it sometimes will take a bit of time. So I would always advise that you take your time before you select your mentor. And you can try 1 or 2 things. You see, many times, don't even mention the word be my mentor. You don't have to ask, can you be my mentor? You can just ask, I need some guidance in this and that, right? So number 1 is, the first thing you can do is reach out to the person that organized that course. So say to the person, I've done your course, I've gotten a job, I love my job, but I'm struggling with this, can you help me? That's one way. Number 2 is go on LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn, find people that are doing what you're doing in the field. Don't look for random people. Look for people that are passionate, people that are talking about the field, and you can see that they have a track record. Follow them, shoot them a message inbox, introduce yourself, and tell them, oh, I'm in this field and I'm struggling, I need help. So you can reach out to people. You set a target for yourself, reach out to 5 people. Out of the 5, maybe 1 will reach back to you and all of that. So that's another way to get a mentor. Another way to get a mentor is by attending networking opportunities. There are so many groups. I'm sure that if you go on LinkedIn, you find groups that have to do with investment banking. So look for groups on investment banking, communities of people on investment banking. Join those communities. Contribute to the communities, ask your questions on the communities, look out for people that stand out within these communities and begin to reach out to them to ask them questions. Whoever helps you, whoever really helps you to go forward and makes you, you're comfortable with the person. When I say comfortable, I'm not saying you're staying in your comfort zone, but you know that you're just okay. You feel good to follow this person, right? It feels good to follow this person, then you follow that person. Those are some ways. There are so many other ways, but those are some practical ways of getting mentors in your field.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. Let's take this last question. Akpes is saying, under personal evolution, we mentioned CEOs being under empowerment, managers under improvement level, and so on. My question is it possible not to be a CEO and still be on the improvement or empowerment level?
Definitely, yes. Definitely. In fact, many times what happens is this: when you want to move into the next level, right? I told you that it is not the title that precedes. It's not the title that precedes the work you do. The work precedes the title. It just means that once you begin to do that, you begin to attract those kind of opportunities. So yes, you can be in empowerment level and you're not yet attracting those things, but definitely those things will come to you. And then you get to decide if you want to take up those opportunities or not. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma. Sorry about the break. And with that, we've come to the end of today's session. Please, for the questions we couldn't take, kindly drop it in the group, in the WhatsApp group, and it will be attended to. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that stayed till the end. We are grateful, and see you next weekend for another value-packed session. See you. Bye-bye. Also, drop your feedbacks in the link that will be sent now. to the group. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been an amazing, amazing, amazing time. Thank you for staying to the end. Love you, love you, love you. If you're not on the WhatsApp group yet, please join. We have one more power session to go, and then that will be the end of it. Bye, everyone.